College trains you to be a maestro. You spend 4 years analyzing scores, studying pedagogy, and perfecting your conducting pattern. But running a real-world band program requires you to be a CEO and a logistics manager. The day-to-day demands of the job rarely involve musical interpretation. Your immediate reality consists of fielding hostile parent emails, routing field trip approvals, and navigating sudden budget cuts. A program's musical excellence is gated by administrative infrastructure. Actual music instruction is just a small 20% slice of your time. The remaining 80% is entirely consumed by administration, logistics, and advocacy. Managing this requires massive upfront input during the summer months. Before the first downbeat, you have to read the school policies, digest the teacher handbooks, and map out your purchasing procedures. Mastering these bureaucratic rules costs you your summer rest, but it prevents severe, career-threatening missteps when the stress hits its peak in October. We can manage this workload by building 3 pillars. Pillar 1 is a yearly logistics calendar. Notice the center text requires the student to pay related costs for damages. It specifically states that failure to return the instrument results in full replacement expense billed to the student's account. To maintain these systems, use a 2-year calendar method. When you miss a deadline or forget a communication this year, log it immediately as a reminder for next year, creating a self-improving administrative loop. Strong documentation removes the emotional friction from discipline and financial accountability. It shifts the burden from your personal judgment to an agreed-upon policy, protecting you from administrative pushback. Pillar 2 covers the physical friction points of running the program. This starts the moment you step into the building, specifically with rehearsal room setup and cleanup. Delegating daily physical tasks to your student leadership yields a high return on investment. It keeps the room functional and frees up your immediate attention. The trade-off is that delegation takes time. You have to explicitly train the students on these procedures, and initially, it will be much slower than doing it yourself. This structured approach extends to group travel. Field trip logistics require a strict chain of command, routing your approvals, booking the exact transportation, and assigning specific chaperones. During travel, you must use the buddy system and conduct regular roll calls at designated meeting spots. This maintains maximum accountability for every student in transit. Logistics also dictate the music. You have to explicitly plan your rehearsal sessions and designate warm-up areas en route to your destination to ensure the band is in peak condition upon arrival. Proactive logistics planning heavily increases your initial workload, but it ultimately buys back your mental bandwidth and guarantees safety during chaotic group movement. The third and final pillar is advocacy. You need a system to protect your program from inevitable budget cuts and scheduling conflicts. Standard emotional pleas, like telling the school board to save our music, rarely work. They fail to persuade administrators who make decisions based on data and metrics. This matrix shows how to adjust your approach. You have to drop the poor framing on the left and switch to effective framing on the right. Pitch the band program as critical infrastructure that provides measurable social-emotional support. You can back this up by citing state law, proving exactly how your music courses fulfill vital graduation requirements, like substituting for world language credits. Adopting this strategy requires a trade-off in your teaching. You must adapt your curriculum to emphasize the educational process and the social impact of the group, rather than focusing solely on the final musical product. To maintain visibility, send frequent, brief emails every week to celebrate student success with the campus. Dedicating just 1 to 2 hours every Friday to this kind of public relations builds massive community goodwill. It tightly aligns your program with the superintendent's core metrics, making you harder to cut. We can look at this troubleshooting table to see how these 3 pillars solve the most common daily headaches you face. First example, the problem of constant missed rehearsals is usually caused by poor early communication. The solution is enforcing the master schedule in your handbook. Second example, the problem of broken school horns stems from a lack of accountability. The solution is requiring a signed liability checkout form before a case is ever opened. Third example, the problem of administrative funding cuts happens when the band is viewed as extra. The solution is targeted, data-backed social-emotional advocacy. Every recurring crisis in a band room can be traced back to a missing or broken administrative system. Depending on your experience level, your immediate priorities will look different. For the novice director in their first 3 years of teaching, the focus is survival. Novices should focus entirely on establishing a strict master schedule, finalizing handbook contracts, and maintaining basic communication. Avoid major curriculum overhauls until your administration is stable. For the veteran director in their 4th year or beyond, the foundation is already built. Your goal is optimization. Veterans should implement the 2-year calendar, aggressively delegate physical tasks to students, and shift focus toward upper-level advocacy, like mobilizing retired educators to speak at board meetings. Enduring the rigorous, unglamorous paperwork up front buys your freedom later. It is the cost of admission to earn the time, the funding, and the privilege of actually making music.